Greetings, everyone, and hello. Welcome to the Foul Play YouTube channel. And tonight is open mic number 220. Interesting story about the numbers of the open mics. You guys are probably not interested, but I'll tell you anyway. Well, first I want to say hello to Cherie. How you doing tonight, Cherie?
I'm pretty good. I'm glad to be here. Hi, everybody, and welcome to Open Mic.
Yeah, I was going through last week. I don't remember which night, and I was looking for something specific that we had done on the open mic, and I was just was watching because you can go to the playlist and just count down, and I got to back in the 180s, and I had doubled an open mic number. It can happen because I do a lot of. I mean, once you have a title set, I just do a copy paste when I go to create a new schedule a new live, and I did it. I probably got distracted, and boom, it happened. So I had to go back through and renumber from that point onward. I had gotten out of sync. I try to be careful not to do that with any of the whatever. It's interesting to me, probably an irritation for you for me telling you about it, but nonetheless, there's probably going to be several episodes from that point up to last week that the numbering is incorrect. Not a big deal, still it's out there. So, yeah, we did Doc had a really good presentation on Brendan last night. I found that really kind of illuminating. I mean, all that stuff I had read and knew, but I had never glued it together like that as he did succinctly. Boom, 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 boom. I think it's really clear. They buried, and when I say they, I mean the state buried Carmen's pretty clear statement. I mean, unless somebody can bring to me some kind of evidentiary proof that she was conspired to lie for some unknown reason about the time that she dropped Blaine off back home, then we have another conversation. And yeah, more questions. They had to know. They absolutely had to know what Brendan was saying was absolute garbage. So this is another inroad about the read technique and it being used, it's been used against so many people, but being used directly to get a statement. They're interesting in someone incriminating themselves, especially when they have nothing. And they had absolutely nothing on Brendan. Nothing. If he would have told them at the high school, I told you guys all I'm going to tell you, no thank you. Unless you're going to arrest me, I'm not going with you. They would have had a different situation they would have had to have done. Would they have tried to incriminate him in some fashion? I don't know. But they used his, I'm not trying to be mean. I'm really not trying to be mean. His lower IQ, he's just not an aggressive person.
Suggestibility. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. That's a great word. To kind of push this kid in a direction that they wanted him to go. And they were very successful at it. And I think it's just I think it's an abomination of using the system to, I'm trying to think of the best word, to game a case, to make it work, even though they had to know what he was saying wasn't true. These guys had the reports. I know Fassbender and Wickert had all these reports to review. I'm sure they talked about it. I mean, why wouldn't they? So they were the two lead investigators, and others I'm sure had input. Poggle, Kratz, Gahn, Fallon, all these guys, and other people at the DOJ, that's just an assumption, but these people were reading these reports too. I'm talking about Fassbender and all these special agents' superiors. They had to be reading these reports as well. They knew that there had to be an issue. So putting it together the way that was that Doc laid it out last night is really eye opening. It's kind of a kind of a hope, I guess, that others that are associated legally could have watched it or picked up on it. I don't know what I don't know what can be done about it, but I don't know. I don't know what can be done for Brendan really at this point. There's no physical evidence that was used against him at all, even though they presented a ton of stuff against Stephen, and they could do it because his trial was done. He was found guilty, so they're not going to bring him into court and question him, right? That's another part of it. That other side of from a legal standpoint, the right to face your accuser, bringing somebody in to testify and so forth. He had just got convicted. They're not going to call him in as a witness, right? Anyway, it gets up into legal stuff that I have far less knowledge of. Any comment?
Makes your blood boil. That's what it does for me.
Well, it really does. I mean, you think about how you have one victim, Teresa, killed in two different ways, two different places at two different times, and two separate trials for that one victim. I don't know how they got away with that either, because that certainly, to me, defeats the spirit of any kind of law.
I was listening to Tracy Keogh's podcast again lately, and she asked one of her guests about that, and I didn't really understand what he was or see how it could be logical or okay, but he said something about as long as they could have both happened, it's okay to do that. I'd have to go listen again to get his exact words, but that's the only explanation I've heard for that. Of having two different having her killed in two different ways.
Right. Yeah, that's very interesting. Well, I mean, for I guess a lot of us regular people, that really doesn't float. It doesn't really fly. You have somebody that they've convicted. You think, okay, how can they bring in someone else and kind of lead this off into a different path and prove that's convict someone? It just doesn't work for me. To me, the details would have to be pretty much exact to what they were in the previous trial, except someone else was there and participated and so forth. That's, I guess, is where my problem is.
Right.
Okay, well, let's move on. We've got where we picked up. We're going to pick up where we left off, and let me pop this on screen here. So the last call we listened to was Deb Strauss, and I do apologize. I need to move these two calls up. These were added later, and I really thought I had corrected this playlist. These were earlier than the Strauss call, but these calls came in. We didn't get these until 2022, and they're really the only thing in the 2022 records request that Rookie got that landed on November 4th. They're not really dispatch calls. They're conversations between Wiegert and Link. But I need to move these two calls up because Wiegert calls Link to ask for a favor getting the GPS coordinates, and Link called him back. I don't know why that's listed twice. Huh. I'll check that out. I don't. Huh. Okay. Well, I'll check that out. Anyway, we're gonna start. This is where we're gonna start. And then we're going to head off into November, November 5, November 5th. 4th is basically gone except for what you're going to listen to here. No dispatch calls whatsoever. And of course, Deb Strauss's CASO. So, but nothing from, for a key call, nothing from MTSO. As always, put the queue. If you have any question, put a queue in. In front of, we'll try to capture that, answer any questions. Or if you want to rehear something, you didn't get it, want to listen to it again, same for you, Cherie, let me know. It's probably just going to be me and Cherie tonight. I don't know if anyone else is going to jump in. I know Doc, it's really early for Doc, so I told him last night, don't kill yourself getting up at, that early. Just get your rest, man. And Susan is going to see her niece, I think. So anyway, we're going to push through. We'll get as far as we get and call it a night. And I'm sure we're not going to get through all these. I'm sure we won't, based on what we've done in the past. So anyway, let's get started. Here we go.
Lieutenant Link speaking.
And second time, second transfer, same number.
Okay.
When I hang up, it is Calumet County, Mark Weeger.
Oh, Mark Weeger. Okay.
All right.
Lieutenant Link speaking.
Hi, Jen, it's Mark.
Oh, hi, Mark.
I wonder if you guys could do us a couple favors.
What's that?
Do you think you could go back out to Avery's and do a good interview with him and see if there was anybody else at the house when she showed up besides him?
Okay.
And then we're looking for this Yonda, who is apparently his sister.
Okay.
If you could maybe try to track her down. It's a Barbara Yonda.
Okay.
That's the name he always uses when he calls Auto Trader, is the Yonda.
Okay. Yeah, I know he's got a sister that had some kind of a vehicle, but they kind of both shared. I don't know if it's the same one or not.
If somebody could maybe track her down and see if she knows anything, if she was at the house or anything like that for us.
Okay. We'll see what we can do for you.
Great. Thanks a lot, Joe.
All righty.
All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
I'm just going to let it continue on. I'll give it a little bump here. I may have put these calls together. I can't remember.
Lieutenant Link speaking.
Hey, Jim Link, Mark Weird from Calumet.
Hi, Mark. How you doing?
Not too bad. How are you this morning?
Well, hanging in there.
Well, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm wondering if you could do us a favor.
Sure. What is it?
We're going to maybe do a flyover this afternoon over Avery's property and Zipper's property for shits and grins to see if we can maybe locate a vehicle back in there.
Okay.
Do you think you could have somebody, or if you have the capability, to get us some GPS coordinates of both of those properties?
Sure.
That would be possible.
Sure. Let me get a hold of somebody on patrol. We got it in the squad car, so.
Great. That would be great.
Then I'll give you a call back.
Fine.
All righty?
All right. Thanks.
Yep. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Lieutenant Link speaking.
Hey, Jim, Jason Mark.
Hey, Jason, how's it going today?
Good.
I need a favor.
What's that?
Can you guys do GPS coordinates of an area if I give you a couple of addresses?
Sure.
Okay, I need what I'm going to do is we had a missing, I don't know if you guys knew about it, we had a missing from Cal County last night.
Or if you have that information.
And they want to do a flyover on a couple pieces of property, but they need the GPS coordinates.
Okay.
Yes,
one being Stephen Avery.
10-4. Let me give you, where the hell's his address?
I know where that is.
You know where that is, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But you want it right, like the base of his driveway, or
Well, if you can pull in, and how long does it take to get him? A couple minutes?
about 5 seconds?
Yeah. Just pull in as far as you can, and like you're going to turn around or something, and just get the coordinates. The other one is George Zipper. His address is 4433 County B,
Okay.
which is south of 310, and it's on the east side of the road. Just south of 310. Right across from the church there. Yeah, if you can get those two and then call me back with the coordinates and I'll call them.
Alrighty.
I appreciate it.
Yep.
Thanks, Jason. Bye.
Okay. Yeah. So I got a problem here, and I don't, it's certainly my problem and not necessarily everyone else's. But the thing is that they call and get these coordinates and for zippers and the Avery salvage yard, right? And then we get the flower video, and pretty much all we see is the plane going to the Avery salvage yard, doing its whatever for a couple minutes, and then that's pretty much about it. There is nothing at the zippers. So they didn't record anything at the zippers. Is that what I'm getting? There's no, they didn't take any video to show whatever. I'm not saying that the RAV was there. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm just saying, why did they edit that or not video what happened at going to the zippers or any other area in that flower? They were up for a couple hours, few hours actually. They were looking for her car. But all we see is Davy's salvage yard, basically. I mean, that there's some other stuff that has no bearing on any of it that they clearly have recorded over, at least with that tape. So that's a real problem for me. I don't know if they've. Well, actually, I'm not going to say for sure that they claimed that the tape wasn't edited, but to me, it had to be. It had to be edited. I don't know why they wouldn't have recorded going over the zippers if they had if Wiegert had specifically named those coordinates to link in that call. So to me, they were going to fly over that, and I would imagine they were going to go another route that they felt like that she would have taken to get to these appointments looking for her car, this RAV4. That's a real problem for me.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. Just, food for thought, something to think about. Yeah, Kelly, and I think that's exactly what they said, 4433 County Road B, or however they pronounce those addresses there. There's some really odd ones. Any other questions? I'm just doing a scroll. Got a lot of everyone that's we normally listen to these calls. We'll take another re-dive at them. All right, let's move on. So this is an early call with between Remaker and Todd Herman, and talking about Singlub, and it's just an interesting call about some things that were said. Of course, and this is of interest because when Sowinski made his infamous call, Singlub's the one he talked to. Of course, this is the following day. It's not like it's in the list, but the dispatcher transferred him to Singlub, who was allegedly at the Avery salvage yard. Now, there's been questions about him. Was he really there? Well, when we get to it, you'll hear it. When the dispatch operator connects the call, you can hear her dialing out for an outside line and 7 digits. So that tells me he's out of the building to make the connection to transfer the call. Anyway, I'm not going to get too far in that. Some interesting things that Remaker and Herman talk about, really kind of trashing Singlub. So let's give that a listen. This is there's other things in here too. 4-minute and 30-second call. Here we go.
Todd Rimmaker.
Yeah.
How you doing?
Hey, man, just who I was looking for.
Uh-oh. Did you get any pass on from Singlab last night?
He said he told you everything he knew. He's got one little pink note on the side of the beat sheet. I don't know what that was.
Oh, okay.
The insurance manager's office?
Yeah.
And it's scribbling on there.
Okay.
But I had a guy call me this morning.
Okay.
He said he thought it was Monday. He was driving towards the pier and he saw a RAV4, he thinks. It had that Toyota symbol on the back. It was either green or blue.
Okay.
Nobody, he doesn't know who was driving it or what or where it was on the interstate, but he thought it was about 8:45. But I think it was Monday.
8:45 a.m.?
Yeah. That would have been too early, huh?
Well, yeah, I'd like to know where she was after that, like
He said this was
8:45
going
p.m.
northbound on the interstate.
Okay.
He gave me a phone number, 682-2976.
Okay. Green or blue, you said?
Yeah, he wasn't sure. He remembered, after seeing the news and stuff, that started ringing bells, but obviously he said I didn't get a registration plate or really take note of who was driving, but I remember the symbol on the back, that, the circle with the Toyota symbol, he said.
Okay.
So,
All right, yeah, Singlab calls me at home at about 12:30. Well, I don't know what to do. What the fuck are you... He does that all the time.
take the notes.
Yeah.
I mean, if the worst case scenario, just take the notes and
Yeah.
follow up on it.
Well, if we're getting calls, about this and that, I don't know what go out, see if the car's there. I mean,
Yeah.
granted, you don't have to make contact,
Yeah.
but make a freaking decision, you idiot. Does that all the time.
Oh, you're his neighbor. You're his number one contact there.
Negative. He said he tried everybody else and nobody's answering their phone.
Yeah. I wonder why.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm just curious with the aircraft up. Did they check roadways and stuff too, or?
Yeah, I haven't heard. Yesterday morning, we were supposed to get the GPS coordinates for Avery's place and that Zipper's place.
Yeah, I think Ort gave him the link.
Yeah, and then, so I didn't know for sure if they were going to go up and do it.
I watched. You guys weren't going to go with them.
No, I watched the news last night and I heard that they were going to go up and check
I
it.
don't
But
believe they had old Stevie on there.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was really cooperative. I went out there with Link and we searched his house and he was pretty decent. I don't think he's got anything to do with it. That's my gut feeling. That other guy that...
Yeah, we'll stop it right here. This is Remaker. Of course, we know Remaker and Link went out on the night of the 4th and talked to Avery and let him walk through his house or do whatever you want. That's if he had done all this horrific stuff, given Stephen's history with law enforcement, do you think he would have said, just do whatever you want? Leslie, all this stuff is in his backyard. Really? Where's the
No.
RAV4? Right. There's this, to me, he would have been like, you're going to have to get a warrant. You know.
What if he would have acted like Zipper,
Right.
being
Oh.
a dick?
Right. Exactly. But he was, really cooperative and let him walk through the trailer and do whatever you want. That, and that really kind of matters. So, yeah, I just think that's always been really interesting. His reaction to Lincoln Remaker versus Zipper, and we don't really have too much on anyone else. That they were the two main focuses at the beginning, anyway. I don't know. I'm just not seeing it, given all the calls and jail calls and so forth. We hear of Avery. He cooperated with them. So if he's got all this stuff, just laying in his burn pit, his backyard, his burn barrel, Really? He's gonna just let them walk through without some kind of warrant? I find that really difficult to believe. I know Steven's not the sharpest knife in the drawer, but I'm sorry, I'm not seeing it. Anyway, I'll back it up now so I can so we'll continue with the call.
Pretty decent. I don't think he's got anything to do with it. That's my gut feeling. That other guy, that Zipper, boy, he's a shady character.
Well, even her roommate didn't look.
No, I watched him on TV on the news.
Yeah.
Boy, he didn't look up or nothing. He was just kind of.
No, that's what I kind of got. He kind of looked a little.
Yeah.
A different.
Yeah.
But
So, speaking specifically about, well, they talked about Zipper, and we know at least part of what happened there with him and his phone call and so forth. But they're talking about Scott Lodorn and the interview that was on the news, and he looked at the floor pretty much the entire time. And that's a tell for a lot of people. I'm not saying it's a tell for him. I don't know that, but it is for a lot of people. If you're being dishonest or not, you're wanting to avoid. It's a block. So you won't look directly at someone or a camera to give a response. It's a real tell. It's a real thing.
Yeah,
Having raised
that too.
having raised multiple children, I can tell you that's a real tell. Oh no, Dad, no. Anyway, so they were definitely watching, and saw Bloodhorn's reaction, and it is strange. Does he know something? I don't know. Do I suspect he does? Yeah, I do. Do I really suspect Ryan? You betcha. I really do. Can't prove it, but his actions throughout, from basically the beginning all the way through trial, is the things that he did. The lies, the number of lies I know he told. My opinion. I'm not saying it's factual. Just me. He lied too many times about a former lover that somebody he was supposed to have been in love with for more than a couple of weeks. Somebody he really cared about. I just have a real problem with that. The information, the moving into her home. Who does that? I just I can't make that work in my head. The movie allowing him to move into her home, not forensically checking that house, clearing it, making sure that everything's on the up and up. These two guys were two of her closest in her inner circle, Ryan and Scott, and they're not cleared. They just accepted what little bit they were even questioned about their whereabouts and their activities, just barely. If there's more that they question, we're unaware of it. I mean, anyone's free to go look at the information that's out there. It's in the library and read it for yourself. They were never treated as suspects, ever. Whether they should have been or not is irrelevant. That isn't. They were close in her inner circle. The people like that should always be eliminated immediately. That way you can move forward without stumbling blocks. We've seen it too many times. And probably even back then. I mean, it's not. We're not talking about the dark ages. Of course, things have progressed considerably in different areas, but even in 2005, this was something that police did. They started in that inner circle. Anyway, I'm rambling. I'm going to back it up a second so we can listen to that again, and we'll finish this call.
he kind of looked a little. A different.
Yeah.
But who knows? They'll see when something turns up.
Yeah, definitely. Okay. All right. So there was nothing that he got that needed to be followed up on, or.
Not that he told me. He said, I gave everything to Dave. He said that he'd take care of it. That's no kidding.
Okay.
He did. He said, I gave everything I had to Dave.
He called.
He said, after that, he said nothing else really came in.
Okay.
So he said, nothing I have to worry about.
All right. Okay.
All right?
Good enough.
Talk to you later.
If you need me, give me a call.
All right.
Bye.
Catch you.
Okay. All righty. So, all right, let's move into, we're going to get into some events that really begin to start rolling just prior to the RAV4 being found. This next call is at 9 between Remaker and Wiegert. And then, of course, not long after that, roughly an hour, Wiegert is calling Remaker back about a change of plans. And of course, we've heard this call many times, but there's, as we've gotten further along and we know more in this case, it can lead off to other, I guess it's speculation, of course, but I'm just trying to be reasonable. That's what I try to be reasonable in my assumptions, because there's so many events we don't know. We don't really know what was going on. So let's move on and take a listen to this first call between them.
Calumet County Sheriff's Office.
Morning, this is Detective Remaker from Manitowoc County.
Good morning.
Is Wiegert or Dietering?
I think Wiegert's in his office. Hold on.
Thank you. This is Mark.
Detective Reminger is on the line for you.
Remaker?
Yeah, from Manitowoc.
Sure, do I gotta stay on the line or hang up?
Stay on the line.
Got it.
Go ahead.
Niles.
Go ahead.
Niles.
Hey, how you doing?
Oh, I'm just doing fucking great.
Hanging in there?
Oh, yeah. I'm gonna stay at the office.
You working all day or what?
I don't know yet. We got a bunch of kind of tips maybe called in and stuff. People saw her allegedly. Track some of those down, get some reports done.
Mm-hmm. Did you do a flyover at all?
Yeah, they did one yesterday. I
Okay.
didn't know. I was up in Green Bay.
Okay.
The boss and our new chick went.
Okay. Have you established some timeline as to where you think she went first or last, or direction of travel, or?
Well, here's what we think.
Okay.
We're trying to track down a fax number that she had sent on early Monday, and we just did that this morning. It appears that it came from her apartment. It's a Green Bay number, but the fax number is attached to her computer and fax machine.
Okay.
We would get a test fax this morning, and that's what it came back. It's from her fax machine at her apartment
In
St. John.
Okay.
She was with.
And that's at what time?
That's at 12:13 in the morning on Monday morning. Okay. We couldn't figure out where that fucking fit in the puzzle here, because we know she was seen later that afternoon.
Okay. So the fax is before she goes to Avery's and Zippers. Okay. All right.
So that next day, or that day, she goes, her first appointment is in New Holstein.
Okay.
She's about 1:30 in the afternoon. She leaves New Holstein. And there we believe she goes to Avery's.
Okay.
Time, we're not sure.
Avery says he thinks it's between 2 and 2:30.
Okay. From there, we believe that she goes to Zippers.
Okay.
Zippers apparently are not really good on time or
Yeah.
I understand.
Yep.
And that's the last anybody has seen her. She had
Okay.
a cell phone call, I believe, at 2. When there was a cell phone call at 2:24, which it appears that she had answered. There's one at 2:27, which is incoming. We got it or not, but we believe it went to her voicemail, talking to the person down at Auto Magazine. I think that was me. I left her a message. I just don't know what time.
Okay.
So we've got coming in from this.
What time did Dietering get off the caller ID at Zipper's place that she called? Do you remember what time that was?
No, but you just hold on. I've got some phone records I can take a look at. Hold on for a second.
Okay.
Grab this. All right, I'm back.
All right.
There's a phone call placed to Zippers at 2:12 p.m. on Monday.
Okay.
So I'm assuming that's the one she probably left a voicemail there.
I paused it here about this specific call because she left the voicemail. Let's listen to a little bit more, and I'm going to pause again. I'll back it up 5 seconds.
I'm assuming that's the one she probably left a voicemail there.
Probably right before she gets there.
Right.
Okay.
And the last call, like I said, is 2:27 p.m. That's an incoming one, which we believe just went to her voicemail, which is 5 minutes ago.
Okay.
And that's it. After that, we got
Nothing.
And the reason I'm pausing it is because Remaker was there the night of the 3rd, and based on everything that we know, he didn't record that message that night for whatever reason. And then, according to Dedding's report, he was also there. But if you read, and it's the only reference that I think we can find anywhere in the case, Detective Jacobs went back on November 6th and made a recording of this voicemail. Now, was Dedding with him? It doesn't say. What Jacobs did with that message or that recording after the fact, we don't know, because neither the zipper message or the Yonda message was entered into evidence and given a property tag number. So the chain of custody can't be tracked. Is that important? Well, I think it's extremely important that evidence in whatever fashion, if it's relevant, has to be put in the ledger, right, Cherie? I mean,
Yeah, and have the chain of custody, like you were saying.
I think, and that becomes from a legal standpoint, I think that becomes really relevant, because if you don't have a chain of custody for a piece of evidence you're going to use in court, that can become a real problem, because a defense lawyer or a prosecuting attorney can say, well, we don't know where this came from. We don't have an official record of where it's been, so it's irrelevant. You can't use it. But as we know, they did use Barb's voicemail message. This has become another real sticking point for me. And I've directly challenged Mr. Kratz over his January 2007 exhibit list that he created. He was pretty upset with me for publishing pieces of it. But there's just no way around this for me. This zipper voicemail that Teresa left, as far as we know, is the last known message Teresa left for anyone, or the last time before she was killed. To me, that's really important, if nothing else, for the emotional pull. And that was definitely a part of what they used at trial. It was a huge part. Yet this last message of Teresa is not played. It's just not. I don't really understand that. But the real sticking point is 15 months basically after this recording was taken, it appears on Kratz's exhibit list a month before trial. Yet he says he don't have it. I'm having a real hard time here understanding why, if he didn't have access to it, why at that late stage it would appear anywhere if he doesn't have possession of it, or somebody near him doesn't have possession of that recording. It's a real problem for me.
Yeah.
Because if you don't have possession of it, I got another state advocate. Their argument with me, I got into a discussion, I won't say argument, but debate with me was that, well, maybe he did have it and he lost it. Okay. They're not really thinking this through, man, because there's just absolutely no way that what Kratz had was the original. Why would he have the original and not have a copy of the original, and that original be kept in safekeeping like they do all the other audio recordings that they have? They make copies and distribute them. So that argument doesn't really fly for me. For me, personally, just personal opinion, there's something in that recording that hurt the state's case. It hurt it bad. Otherwise, I think that recording would have been played. That's just me. I'm gonna leave it there and stop rambling. It's a real irritation for me. I'm just trying to be reasonable. I'm looking back and trying to stand back and look at this and say, okay, where's this recording at, and why does it appear on your exhibit list a month before trial if you didn't have it? How's that work? Sorry, that doesn't work for me. It just doesn't.
Did I hear you just say that Kratz was mad at you for publishing parts of it or something like that?
He was pretty upset. He messaged me and wanted to know where I'd gotten this list. I'm like, well, basically, a former truther requested. I remember exactly what yours was requesting. I can't remember because I didn't write it, and I don't think I ever saw his original request on this, how he got this. But in return for whatever he was requesting, he got this. There was a couple of emails. One specific, it was actually from Fallon. He wanted some whatever exhibit list, and so then this was an email he had sent to Calumet County, the CASO, and this is what he got in return, was this January 2007 exhibit list. And this list that Kratz created is divided up by section. Evidence found, I think maybe there's one called the Toyota RAV4. Evidence found in it. Evidence Avery's bedroom or whatever. Anyway, it's divided up into sections. And these two calls are, and not only just these two calls, the two voicemails, they ended up, I think, I can't remember what section it's in, miscellaneous or something. I can't recall. But whatever. There are a number of things that are, well, pretty much everything, in that, in this exhibit list that he created, became part of the official exhibit list that happened at trial. And then, of course, there are exceptions. He didn't use everything that was in that exhibit list, but there were 501 exhibits presented at Avery's trial, I think, in total. I think that's right. I can't remember how many's in this list, but it's somewhere around that number. It's close. So yeah, he was upset about it, and he made a couple of comments on Twixter. Why do I keep using it? Well, because it's a list you created, man. I didn't make the list. This is something you did. So
He probably wanted to say you're effing up my case.
well, maybe. I don't know. I'll just try to remain, civil and not get into, some of the other side conversations with him. I'm just trying to extract from him an answer to try to understand what's going on here. And for this one, no, there's no answers. He says he don't have it. He doesn't say he never had it. He just says he doesn't have it. And speaking of today, but I telling you, I just got a problem with it for me. So anyway, and of course, Dennis Jacobs passed away, so we won't get any answers from him. He wouldn't answer it anyway, I'm sure. He wouldn't talk about it. So, and he didn't write a report about his activities. This is all in Dettering's report, and it's very short. Said almost nothing about it, and then it just kind of drifts off into the ether of nothingness. It just wafts off like a cloud and disappears. But this call, I'm not saying it break the case, but to me, there's something in what Teresa said in that call that they did not want publicly played. Otherwise, it being the last call that known recording of Teresa's voice would have been used at trial. Sorry, it would have been. If nothing else, from the emotional grab, they could have presented that very powerfully in court. This guy's just going to warn you, this is the very last message Teresa left for anyone on this earth, so on and so forth. Sure, her family was, this is hard for them, but I'm sure they would love to have this recording and played it, but they didn't. I got a problem with that. Anyway, back up 5 seconds. We'll continue.
And that's it. After that, we got nothing. So about 227. Well, actually prior to that, something occurred between 212 and 227.
Okay.
Seems like she disappeared.
Did Deidre get those phone records for tower location and stuff?
Yes, but I don't have them. They came fax tonight. He grabbed them. He went up his house to check on that fax machine. And he should be back shortly.
Okay. So you don't know that last phone call, what tower it went off of or anything like that?
I don't know that.
Okay.
All right. I did get a call last night. There's a Knutson from Valders, actually.
Okay.
She claims, and she left me a voice note which I haven't gotten to yet. They just dispatched it, called me last night. She claims that she was on her way to home, and she sees Teresa allegedly pulled over on the side of the road taking a picture of a cow.
Really?
That's what she claims.
Does she know Teresa or?
No, just from what she's seen in the news, all this kind of crap. So when I get my ducks in a row here, if I'm driving back to Valders, talking to her.
Okay.
Are you working today?
Yes.
Okay.
So if you need a hand with anything, let me know.
Well, what I think I'll do, if she's pretty positive, I think I'll do is maybe get a hold of you and maybe we can just go out to that area.
Sure.
After the ditches out in that area.
Sure. All right.
Take a look around. So.
Okay.
You got a direct number there, Davey?
Give me my cell.
I'll work.
3. And give me yours again. I always lose it.
I'm sure you're aware of this. The family's doing a search on their own.
Yep. I read that note.
I called last night to maybe heads up. I don't know if they'd be trespassing on somebody's property over there and the shotguns would be out the front door. Crazy fuck.
Yeah. The only thing we got is somebody called up and said at 8:45 a.m. they seen a vehicle northbound on I-43 near De Pere. It was either a green or blue RAV4 vehicle. Yeah.
Well, we got one yesterday too on, I don't know what fucking it is. I got a unit on my place now. That she was seen on 00 in Appleton driving that vehicle too. So what I'm going to do is kind of put together a sheet with all the tips that come in. So if you could let us know.
Yep.
So if yours comes in on I-43 at 2 o'clock, mine comes in on 00 at 2 o'clock.
Right.
We can pretty much rule them all.
That's good. That's a good idea.
Go that way. So when I get my shit, I got, I know.
I'm going to let you go. You need anything, holler.
All right, I'll get here till I get over towards Valders.
At least 4 o'clock.
3 to 4?
Yep.
Okay. Sounds good, man.
Okay.
Thanks.
See ya.
Bye.
Okay. So I'm going to, let me back up here. So Cherie, I want to try to help you out and answer this question. I wonder why we can still hear this call after a transfer and no others. Well, it can. And here's the difference. Sowinski called into Manitowoc County, right? He's the one that called into. So he originated the call. The person he wanted that they transferred him to was not there. So that call gets transferred out. Now, let's reverse that. If Singlub had called Sowinski, if the call had originated at Manitowoc, it would have been recorded. It could have been recorded. If somebody called and made that connection from there or Calumet County, the call would have been captured. But since he called into the system and then got transferred out of the system, the connection is broken. No, it creates a new connection outside of the system. So this call originated from Manitowoc to Wiegert at CASO, so it gets captured. And we hear other calls that are the same way. The simple call on November 9th, that one is also captured. There are a few other calls too that are also captured because they originate inside the building, one of the two. So the system captures it. True Crime Fangirl. Yeah, it is interesting. I was a little surprised that he was a bit upset about it, us having this exhibit list that he created before trial. And he even said on Twixter in one of his comments, you understand, this was not the actual exhibit list presented at trial, and I'm well aware of that. Knew it back then, when you always got this exhibit list. But to go through and understand, and if you look at the actual exhibit list that we have, the official from trial, it's handwritten, and for a lot of it, there's no description given. Like a lot of them are photos that were, of course, were presented at trial, and it just has an exhibit number and it just says photo. It doesn't has no descriptor of what that photo is. It's just photo. So that's really pretty terrible to me that there's no descriptor. So then if you want a specific exhibit photo, you're gonna have to go through the trial testimony and run it down. And you can do it. Don't get me wrong; it can be done. It's just an element I think that should have been recorded in the official trial exhibit list, and it wasn't. At least not the one that we have. There may be some kind of internal document that gives a better explanation, but I've never seen it. So, okay. Yeah, Stuart, that's a good comment. Those in charge of chain of custody records in this case can be described as missing links in the evolutionary sense. Yeah, no doubt. But yeah, I mean, you get a piece of evidence that you're going to use in some fashion. If it's relevant, to me, there's just no choice. It goes in the ledgers, and you track it. You have to, from a legal standpoint, and they weren't entered. But Barb's voicemail was definitely used at trial. So that creates another problem for me with the zipper voicemail being somewhere somebody's sock drawer. I'm 100% convinced that recording exists, and copies, not just the original, and copies. I'd bet on it. But anyway, let's move on. So we're going to move on to, I think this call, this is a really wide thumbnail, so it kind of pushes the other to the side, but I'm pretty sure this is the change of plans call we've got coming up between Remaker and Wiegert, which brings up some other interesting speculation. We can't prove it, but definitely speculation, because as we know, Poggle and someone went to Teresa's house to do this test backs, which I found really strange that Poggle would be interested in doing that. And of course, then Pam Stern and Nicole show up at Teresa's house at roughly the same time. Was there an exchange of information? Brings up a bunch of other stuff that we'll briefly discuss. We're going to move on. So let me pop that over. Yeah, here we go. This says when yours made this key call, and at that time we didn't know exactly when the call was, but I've changed the header to the right. I didn't change the thumbnail because I'd have to recreate the whole thing, and I'm not doing that. This call was at 10:07 a.m. We found that out in 2022 when Ricky got so many more dispatch calls. It was actually timestamped 10:07, the actual call. So here we go.
Remaker.
Baby.
Yeah.
Is it 323 or 373?
323.
I can't remember the fucking rating.
323.
Hey, kind of a change of plans here.
Okay.
The boss has got something he wants us to do.
Okay.
He wants us to go back over and re-interview Avery and Zipper again. And now that the search party is out there, he wants to ask them if they would allow us to have the search party come on the property and go through the junkyard. Since the search party is going.
Okay.
So if it's okay with you, we'll meet you over at your sheriff's department.
Okay.
Talk about a little bit, and if you're not too busy.
Okay. Yeah, Zipper's not going to be real happy.
I'm sure he's not. If he tells us no, he tells us no.
All right.
That's the way it is.
Okay.
If you don't mind, help
Yeah,
us out
that's
today?
fine. Stop over.
Okay, we'll probably be there maybe within the hour.
Okay.
I don't know why there's a dip out in that call, but there is. Anyway, I'll pause it here. This brings in, because of the time frame, of course, at 10:07, okay, 20 minutes later, Stern starts trying to call Poggle approximately 20 minutes later at around 10:27, because she actually says in the call she's already tried, or a statement, I can't remember which, that I'm sure she tried to call Poggle because she was given his number. I guess it kept going to voicemail. Actually, I think she tells the dispatcher, and she ends up calling Calumet County direct to dispatch, and that's where we get the call at. So, the question has come up. Ryan and Scott are in charge of the search parties on the morning of the 5th. How come nobody had been assigned to the Avery salvage yard? Because they knew that one of Teresa's last stops was the Avery salvage yard. She had an appointment there, and they knew it, but no one had been assigned there. And somehow Pam Sturm comes up with this idea that, hey, has anybody went here? This is allegedly on her. I have a real problem there. I can't prove it. It's just too contrived for me. I don't believe it. I've never believed it.
Me neither.
The way she acted at trial, the pre-trial, it was so bad. It was just horrible. Now, did Pago or someone get a tip that RAV4 was on the property that morning? I think it's entirely possible. I do, because from the flower footage that I can see, that RAV is not there. It's just not there. I can't see it. Yeah, it's pretty terrible. It's a low quality recording, but to me, it's just not there. And I think if they'd have seen it, they would have swooped in on the 4th and started the whole thing. But that's not what happened. They set this up. I don't know if there's something in that footage that I can't see, and they decided, well, we better do this a different way. I don't know that, but that whole story is just too contrived for me. So now we move forward a little bit. This call comes in at 10:28. Another interesting thing about this call is that Pam Sturm she's put through to Sheriff Poggle. In fact, this was one of the questions that I asked Kratz about on Twixter. This is the only call that I can remember I remember somebody from a civilian calling in that was ever put through, that we actually get the call. But it's actually worse. I mean, I asked the question on Twixter, and Kratz said, well, he was standing right there in the dispatch center. Well, no, he really wasn't. Wiegert and Poggle were getting ready to leave to go to Manitowoc, and Marie Oosterhouse, I think's her name, she runs and goes and gets him and brings him back into the dispatch center. They never even asked Stern why she was calling, which they usually do.
She just had a gut feeling,
I guess. They never even asked because if you listen to the dispatch calls, they always field these calls. Why are you calling? Why do you need to talk to them? What do you got? Oh, I got a tip. I need to talk to the investigator, blah, blah, whatever. The reporter calling it, they always field those calls. This one, they did not. I think that's really interesting too. And again, another question that I never really got an answer to. So let's listen to the storm call. If there's anything that you want to re-listen to or whatever, I'm sure people have listened to this call quite a bit. But anyway, if there's anything you want to rehear again, then we can replay it. Anyway, here we go.
Morning, Calumet County Sheriff.
Yes, is Mr. Pagel in, please?
Sure. Hold, please. I'll transfer.
Dispatch.
Okay, I called to Mr. Pagel's answering service was on.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, we are at Avery Salvage.
Okay.
Okay, and we're searching for the vehicle.
Right.
For Teresa Hobart. We have found a RAV4. What color specifically was her RAV4? And do you have a VIN number? This vehicle is green. Okay, this, I don't know, this is like a bluish green. Okay, do you have the ID number?
Oh, hold on.
Number.
Hold on. 801. Can you call dispatch right away? Do we have a VIN number?
The VIN number. It's not on the side, Nick. Go on the other side.
Hold on. Here's Jerry.
Hi, this is Sheriff Pagel.
Oh, Sheriff Pagel. Hi, this is Pam Sturm. I'm on the search for Teresa Holbeck, and we found a RAV4.
You did?
It's a bluish green, though. It's more blue than green. We just wanted to know if you got the VIN number for that vehicle.
Yes, we do. We do have a VIN number.
The
I
only
get the
thing
VIN
is
number.
I can't find it on the...
Where is the vehicle at?
I'm at Avery Salvage.
Okay.
It is all covered up.
It's all covered up?
Not all covered, but it's got a lot of stuff on it. Branches.
I don't have my glasses. It's got branches over it?
Yeah. Where's the VIN number on something like this?
Well, the VIN number would probably be on the windshield or underneath on the dash, driver's side.
Yeah, driver's side, Nick.
Looks through the front window.
Through the front window.
Mm-hmm. I'll give you Investigator Wiggard. He's got the phone or the VIN number here.
Okay.
Hi. Are you looking at it right now?
Yeah, we can't find that VIN number.
What color is it?
It is bluish green.
Does it look like a newer one?
Yeah, it's the 99 to 2000.
Is there any?
It's more of a bluish green, though. That's why we don't want to put,
Is there any license plates on it?
No plates on it, but it's a little covered up. It's weird. It's covered up.
Okay.
Some of this.
Can you get to the front of the car?
Yeah, I will. It's Lemieux Toyota sticker on it. Does that have a...
I don't know if they had a Lemieux Toyota sticker on it. I don't know about that.
Is that okay if I go in the car?
No, do not go in the car. Do not touch the car.
Yeah.
Stay on the outside of the car. Go over to the front on the driver's side.
Yeah, I realize that. I'm in the business, so I kind of know, but I can't find a VIN number. I'm picking up the wipers.
Okay.
Can't find the VIN number. Isn't that funny? Oh, here it is, Nick. I don't have my glasses.
You don't have your glasses
Got it
either.
there? My daughter's with me.
Okay.
Okay, now hang on. The last four digits, 3044.
Okay, hold on. I got to find it here again. 3044?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you go even more in?
I don't know. Nick, can you look at any other numbers? There's some people out here, so we have to be careful. And, there's some, I don't know if they're employees or who they are, but they're like, okay, Nikki, just...
Can you see any other numbers?
Yeah. Say it real slow, Nick. Can't see the very beginning numbers, but here goes. T0, Z, 5, X, 7, a 1 or a T, a 1 or a T.
Okay, where are you?
30, is that the number?
Where are you?
No, you gotta tell me if this is the car.
Okay, stop. I can't tell you anything. Where are you?
I'm at Avery Salvage.
Okay, are you on their property?
Yes, I am.
With their permission or not?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, stay right where you are. Do not touch anything. Do not go anywhere around that vehicle. Stay right where... What's your phone number?
Is this it?
I don't know that.
Okay.
What's your phone
number? What's your phone number, Nick? 920. 941-0211.
I'll call him on the way.
This is long distance. You need to dial the entire number.
Okay. Stay where you are. Do not touch the vehicle. Do not let anybody else touch the vehicle.
Don't touch it. Don't touch it, Nick.
And I will be calling you shortly, okay?
Well, I hope you can get me, you know.
Okay, just stay where you are. I'll find you.
Well, we asked this guy real nice to come in here, so I hope.
If you have a problem, you dial 911.
Gotcha.
We'll be on our way. We're going to have somebody over there as soon as possible.
All right.
Okay, thank you.
Bye.
Bye. What? I've always found that really strange. I found the whole call really strange. Hey, that's me. I think we got a couple questions I'm going to go ahead and try to get to right now. Yeah, 3 RAV4s. Her flyer gave a description of what she was wearing when last seen, but who saw her? It certainly wasn't Scott Lodorn. Speckman was interviewed later, post printing of the flyer. Yeah, that's one I can't fully answer. I can't. I don't know how. I don't know if they were making an educated guess or what, based on. I don't really know. Wish I could answer that one, but I can't. And then Kelly McAlien says, question: does anyone know that the boss wants us to do something else call happen, or after Colburn's call to verify the plate number? Well, it's definitely after, because the Colburn plate call was on November 3rd at 9:22. So it was 2 days earlier. This is the morning of the 5th. Colburn says he was in the church parking lot waiting at the across the road from the Zippers, waiting on Remaker and Dettering, which were in another car on their way. Colburn had left first in his patrol car. So he pulled into the church parking lot while waiting for them to arrive. Why they didn't leave together, I have no idea. I don't guess it really matters, but yeah, it was definitely before Colburn's call was. Hugh Frazier, is this the second time we hear the mention of the blue-green for the RAV after Dave R. mentioned a sighting in the previous call? That's an interesting thing. I don't know that they're connected. I think that caller did describe it as a blue RAV4. That was from that call in. I do think that's what Remaker said, but is there some connection? I don't know that. I mean, there's no doubt, from the photos, many of the photos, it looks blue green. Others, in some more of the shaded photos, it's definitely got a really stronger green hue, at least to me. And then the other photos, it's blue. So anyway, I've got somebody I've never seen, the Clack family. Well, hello, thanks for joining us. We've got another question from 3RAV4s. Why does SWH582 have red text instead of black and September 06 sticker? Why would the sticker go on back to 91? I'm not sure I understand that question. I'd have to look at the photos again. Red text instead of black, September 06. That's something I'm going to have to look into more, because I don't know how they do it in Wisconsin. I know here in Michigan, your registration is due, on a yearly basis. I think on your birthday. I think that's how they do it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is. I think it's on your birthday. I don't know. I can't answer that 3Res. You know, I'd have to look deeper into that. I've never really studied that aspect of it. I don't know. Question we'll have to look into. All right. Next call, we're going to move into Jacobs. This is the Jacobs call coming up. It's pretty short, and this is, well, let's just listen to it.
Good morning, Manitowoc County Sheriff's Department. Katie speaking.
Katie, just rolled into the parking lot. Can you tell me, do we have a body or anything yet?
I don't believe so.
We have Stephen Avery in custody, though?
I have no idea.
Oh, I heard him say pick up that party.
Oh, no. We have, while Pete is sitting up there waiting and stopping people from going in and that, he found somebody with a body only warrant for our department.
Okay. Do we have, all right. So I'll talk to Remeter.
Yeah, your best bet is to talk because nothing has come through. We have the vehicle. That I know.
All right. Thank you.
What more, I don't know. All right. Bye.
Bye.
Yeah, I know why this is here. This is the original call that we got. This came off the original CD, the 30 calls that Beating and Strain were given. And this, back at the time when this was made, that's all we had. But then 2022, we got more. Because there was a call that they tried to make a deal out of in convicting a murder. And one of these calls coming up, I explained it because at this point in time, Jacobs is in his car, and I have to believe he's listening to the radio traffic, the radio chatter. And in that radio chatter, they were stopping people that were on the property and running them, whoever they were, their plate, identification, blah, blah, blah. Well, like one guy had a body only warrant, whatever that means. I guess that means they couldn't take his car. I don't know that, but that's what I'm assuming. That he could be detained and taken in for a warrant, but they couldn't take his car or his property. So I'm not sure if he was half listening or whatever, but if he was listening at all, he had to know it wasn't Avery. He had to me. Anyway, let's move on and listen to this. I can't remember where we're at here, but it's going to come up. Let me pop it over here. Yeah, I explained it here. It's two separate events. So I put them together because it really irritated me that convicting murder would try to make something different out of this than what it really was. It was really deceptive on their part to me.
.405 dispatch and code.
405.
I'm going to need a 1029 one. Looks like a 99 party that I've got here.
Go ahead.
Last name's going to be David U. Union, E. Edward, N. Nora, I. Ida, N. Nora, G. George. He gave me first name of Lee, however his 27 comes back as Leslie, Leslie, middle W. William, 35 and 66 030566. It's going to be one of ours.
Down for.
209 dispatch.
209.
10-8 from my 9276 HQ.
10-4. 209 when you head out, if you could take an extra portable for 193.
10-4.
See, this right here tells you that he's listening to the radio. He's on the damn radio. Okay, this is radio traffic.
Support. Dispatch 405.
Go ahead.
I have warrant in hand.
Body only, correct?
Affirmative.
Yeah. .49 dispatch.
499.
I'm now 76 to 147 Avery Road. Pick up that party.
10-4.
State 323 Nanotalk. You can put me 1023.
10-4.
.487 496. Go ahead. Let me get a chance. Give me a 21 on that 4224.
Good morning, Manitowoc County Sheriff's Department. Katie speaking.
Katie, just rolled into the parking lot. Can you tell me, do we have a body or anything yet?
I don't believe so.
We have Stephen Avery in custody, though?
I have no idea.
Oh, I heard him say pick up that party.
Oh, no. We have, while Pete is sitting up there waiting and stopping people from going in and that, he found somebody with a body only warrant for our department.
Okay, do we have, all right. So I'll talk to Remeter.
Yeah, your best bet is to talk because nothing has come through. We have the vehicle. That I know.
All right, thank you.
What more, I don't know. All right, bye.
Bye.
So, yeah, you know, they made a kind of a big deal out of this on cam, which was really deceptive of what they tried to pull to me.
Once again, I did notice they are talking about the car, and when they talk about a body, they're talking about, well, I mean, it's all about Stephen. It's not, it seems like they're not concerned about Teresa, you know? I don't know if I'm
Right.
clear.
No, you're not. No, you're being very clear. There's no urgency about, is Teresa around this car? Are they looking for her? Is there anything inside that car that?
It's almost like they know that she's not in there, you know?
Well,
or something.
It lends itself to that direction because we hear nothing about Teresa rather than, finding this RAV4 that, it was Teresa. Well, I mean, they didn't know exactly for sure, allegedly. So, yeah, there's definitely some oddities with what we see of the RAV in the photos. 3RAV4 says a blue RAV with a broken, the broken parking lots, loose items inside, ragged engine bay, tampered VIN, and a Manitowoc County battery under warranty. Well, then we can go on and add further. According to the Wisconsin Crime Lab, Steve Harrington, analyst, there's a blunt and bloody instrument found on the back of it that we never see. Of course, we can't prove anything from that. Hey, give me just a second here. Sorry about that. Yeah, there's definitely some oddities. And, well, I just like to see Kathleen get her hands on it so these questions can be answered once and for all. I think they'll do everything that they can to keep her out of it, personally, but hey, what do I know? Dan Slot says body only warrant. If the warrant's a body only, that means you will need to be seen by a judge on your particular case. Yeah, I've asked around that. Yeah, I'm just assuming that because it's body only that they couldn't. Yeah, he could be taken in on that warrant or whatever it was, but they couldn't pull his vehicle. Well, no, it's a separate thing. But I've never been able to truly run that down legally. Well, I don't know about that. It's got to be signed. There's got to be, because it's the case is done and under appeal. I don't know the legal steps that would grant her access. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying I don't understand it, how that process. I know this has to be signed off by a judge. I do know that. And then, when Judge Suckowitz came down and so early after the scientific testing stuff was submitted that, she slammed down, with this what's it called? The barred, prohibitively barred, or whatever the hell it's called, because Kathleen
Procedurally
barred, the technicality, because Kathleen closed the pro se instead of amending it. I mean, it's a technicality. It doesn't mean that the testing is wrong. It just means it can't, at least until a new trial, unless there's a new trial, it can't be used. Now, if there's a new trial, that's different. Has there been any news from the Clark family? Has there been any news on the court granting KC access to RAV4 for testing? No, we're waiting. That's what we're waiting for. It's in the hands of the Court of Appeals, has been for several months now. Everything was submitted, and all the replies and so forth are done. It's in the hands of the Court of Appeals, which I suspect we won't hear anything until at least the end of the year, maybe even going into next year, but could be earlier. Just a guess, speculation. I hope they take whatever time they need to go through it and make the correct decision, and not just this continued crazy. I mean, what Judge Suckowitz did when she denied Kathleen's brief and before she appealed it, but things that she put in her decision, no one can meet that standard. No one. There's just it would be impossible. So, she's got pretty good grounds on that aspect, I think, legally. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, let's move on. This next call. Oh yeah, we're going to get into MTSO Lieutenant John Syme. We're still really early. I mean, this is like noon on the 5th, so hour and a half earlier the car's been found, and there's just, let me flip this over here so we can get it ready. There's just so much that they don't know, but this reporter Tom Kirshner from the Wisconsin Journal Sentinel, he's calling for information. Like all these reporters are calling. There's just dozens and dozens of calls because they're clamoring, because this is going to blow. This story blows up like really quickly. It's already really kind of out there, but it's really going to blow up now. Syme knows he's not supposed to talk, but he just can't help himself. He just keeps talking, and we had kind of a lot of chuckles over this when we first got it. It's like, man, for somebody that's not supposed to talk, you've got roughly an 8-minute and 15-second call here. So let's take a listen.
Lieutenant Syme. Hi, Lieutenant Syme Kircher at the Journal Sentinel. Yes. Just calling about the missing woman, Teresa Halder. Yes. Just trying to get any details at all. We haven't had any stories yet. I'm just aware of some other media reports about it. So. Okay. I don't know if that's something that two departments are handling, or actually, it was originally reported through Calumet County. Okay. She was seen in our county. We're now investigating that end of it. Right. I believe also Brown County might be involved. Okay. But I know for sure that Calumet County and our county are involved, sir. I don't know of any news release at this point that's going to be released. The chief investigator from Calumet County would probably be the one that would be releasing any information at this time.
All right.
And so I really don't have anything. I just got in. We're rather busy right now, to be honest with you, running around, but we don't really have anything that we can release that I know of.
Okay, just real quick then, while I have it, is it correct Monday was the last station?
I'd have to take a look at the paperwork, sir. I'm not quite sure what the last day that she was actually seen. I believe it was Monday, but I would have to take a look at the report itself.
Okay. And then the other thing that's been reported is that she had spoken with Stephen Avery, and that was the last person.
In our county, I can verify that that information is correct. I'm not sure if there was any further information in any of the other counties that they had gone any further as far as information. But as far as our county is concerned, yes, that would be correct.
She was there to take a photo of a vehicle?
Apparently that's what she does, is take photos of vehicles to put on the internet for sale.
Yeah. Can you tell me why you spoke to him, but what he related to, or how I would characterize it?
Well, I didn't talk to him personally. I believe the last that I had heard from the detectives was that he was denying that she had left. He had denied any involvement in him being missing.
Yeah.
So,
could I label him, so to speak, at this stage?
He's a person of interest. Off the record, as far as I'm concerned, a person of great interest, but he's a person of interest. Being fair about it is a person of interest, but I'm not the one running the investigation. I'm the shift commander. So,
do you know when they spoke to him?
No, I don't, sir. It might have been the next day. The detectives actually took care of that, and though I am the shift commander, and I know they go up there and they talk to him and everything like that, I don't keep track of exactly when.
Yeah. As far as you know, only the one time, though?
I think they've been taking a very interest in him. However, I really couldn't tell you how often they've been up there.
Yeah. I realize I'm tossing a lot of questions at me now.
Yeah, and some of it I can't release anyhow. So.
Right. Do you know how it was first reported that she was missing?
No, I don't know that. I was on my days off, so all I did was search the missing report coming in from Calumet County, and then us doing the follow-up for Calumet County. So I don't know who initially reported her missing. I would assume it must be a relative.
Sure. Do you happen to know how you became aware that she had seen Avery, or was it through her?
I believe that she has a schedule that she follows as far as going around to these different locations.
Yeah.
That would be what I'm assuming that. I know we were able to track it, and he did say that she was there.
Okay. Do you know, I noticed on the web that she worked for something called Pierce Photography in Green Bay, and, is that still accurate?
I really couldn't tell you, sir. Again, I'm not an investigator. I'm just supervising. So the little details, I don't know. I just try to keep the big details in line. I know she was working to take photographs of cars for putting them on auction. I do not know who she actually worked for.
Right. Okay.
And I would have that information if I had the report in front of me, but I don't have the report.
Yeah.
Would you hold on just for a second? Sure. Go ahead, 496. I don't have to give you a call. 10-4. I'm sorry. Somebody's trying to get a hold of me now.
Yeah. Is it something where you've actually put out notices or bulletins at all, the photos of her?
I believe there was information put out to the news media. I know I've gotten a call or two from people that were concerned, that had suspicions, but nothing has come in as far as leads that I know of that have been solid. But again, I'm not the lead investigator. Most of that stuff gets sent to the lead investigator, and he'd have that information.
Okay. I just wondered if you guys had a photo you could send us so we could use if you're...
Calumet County probably would. I haven't seen a photo.
Yeah. Do you know, besides Avery, others you've spoken to in your...
I really couldn't answer that one way or the other, sir. Yeah, I know he was a person of interest. I'm not sure who else was all talked to. Again, the detectives were taking care of that.
Yep. Okay, as best you know, she was traveling alone.
My understanding is she was alone.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I do have a call into Calumet. Are they, I don't know if you call them the lead, but I guess they're the lead in the sense.
They would be the
originated with them.
You're right, they'd be the lead agency.
And then Brown.
Actually, it'd be them as the lead agency, then us, and then Brown, because it's the way the trail went.
Yeah, why Brown?
I believe it's because where she was working, and I think I'm not really sure on it, but I think something like a fax or something was sent up there, and they were looking at the times and everything if she might have been up there. But we're more concentrating on ours. So again, I only can give you kind of bits and pieces on that because that's theirs, what they're working on, and my gut reaction is that we're going to be the lead in this eventually. Okay. But that's just my gut reaction. I wonder if you could give me a quote, a comment I could use just to. I wonder if you could give me a quote, a comment I could use just to try to characterize the case at this point in terms of kind of your level of concern or your fear. We're very concerned right now. We are very concerned about her welfare. Off the record, because of the individuals involved. On the record, you got to treat everybody that they're innocent until proven guilty. But at this point, I would say that we're very concerned. But I can't go any further than that. Don't even put about the people involved. Just
I apologize for that. I was muted. I'm really sorry. My dear cat came in here and tried to climb on my computer, so I had to mute for a second. I apologize.
Oh,
What I
okay.
said is that it's interesting that he keeps talking, even though he's not supposed to talk. Nanslop put a comment up. She's right. They're not supposed to talk. He doesn't really know too much. He does know some things, obviously, but he keeps talking to this guy, and he keeps going. I remember we had a real chuckle about it because he just can't help himself, and I don't really understand it. He says that MTSO is going to be. He feels they're going to be the lead. That was about a minute or so ago. They're going to be the lead, but I know around this time frame, Calumet was named the lead. I think it was 12:30, but I could be wrong. But I know he got handed over rather quickly because of the $36 million lawsuit. So
I
anyway,
guess the lesson here is don't tell Simon any secrets.
absolutely. If you don't want it discussing, if you don't want it released to a reporter, don't tell that guy. He's a lieutenant.
Wow.
Yeah, I remember we had a pretty good laugh about it because, I don't really want to laugh at a cop, but man, you're not supposed to be talking to this guy. You just say, "Hey, look, man, I can't comment. Things are moving quick. Investigators are on it, but we really have no comment." And that's all I got. Thanks. Bye. End of conversation. But he didn't do that.
It would be interesting to look and see what story this interview produced to see what, because he said off the record a couple times. I wondered if any of it got in.
Yeah, I've never really looked, at newspapers.com. Maybe that's something to take a look at, see if there's anything that was captured on newspapers.com, which we have an account for. Don't think I've ever done that. And I'm sure Kirshner wrote about it. This guy was well known. He wasn't like a new guy. He's been around at least a good long while.
Yeah, I remember him from Man.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, he's got there's other calls in the Manitowoc County Dispatch calls. He's got other calls that's they're interesting. So All right, I'll back up 5 seconds. We'll continue on. Again, I apologize for the blank, the me being muted out. I forgot to unmute. Anyway, here we go.
But I can't go any further than that. Don't even put about the people involved. Just that we're very concerned because of the circumstances surrounding how this is going down. That being, and my sixth sense are kicking in real big time. So what you can see, sixth sense, most people look at it and kind of look at you strange, but we use that a little bit too. And just, I guess, one other characterization of it, if I can, it from what you know to this point, it does not appear like it's something where she just took off on her own. No, I that's a possibility, but at this point I would say no. I would say that's not a probability. I think, like I said, we're very concerned. Things are leading towards a different direction than that. Probably later in the day we may have some press release, but at this point I can't go into any detail. Is her vehicle been found? I can't go into any detail. And it's Lieutenant, can I get your... John Seim, S-E-I-M. S-E-I-M, like mother? Yes. John, J-O-H-N? Yes. Okay, I gotta run. I guess so. All right, bye.
You can't say anything till he's on the phone for 8 minutes. Just saying.
And make sure you spell my name right.
Yeah. He spelled it out for him too. Yeah, interesting. All right, we're going to move into this next call is at 1:20 p.m. And of course, they have already dug in and found out that Jody Stokowski is Avery's girlfriend, and they would have talked to her. And here we are, basically 3 hours after the rat was found, but she's been in jail since August 15th. She's not been out. So they interviewed Jody several times, as most everyone knows. But let's take a listen to. Let me get this over here, queued up, ready to go. It's actually 2 calls that I put together here. Link calls Monk. He's the jailer, and then second call was not long after that at 2 p.m. Bessler to Remaker. Monk asking him to get Jody out of the general pop and put her in a cell. That's because they might need to talk to her. And second calls to Bessler to Remaker about Jody allegedly having some information and who should question. So Bessler, and I can't remember who else that is in the call, go talk to Jody. Well, let's give these 2 calls a listen.
County Jail, Sergeant Monk.
Hey, Mark, this is Jim Link. How you doing? Good. I need a favor. What's that? Stephen Avery's girlfriend, Jody something?
Yeah.
You know who she is?
Yeah.
Where is she, in general population or what?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Could you bring her down and put her in a cell for a while? We may need to talk to her in a little while. I just need to have her segregated a little bit.
Sure.
Okay?
We'll do that right away.
Thanks. Bye.
I find it interesting that they take her to a cell to be talked to instead of an interrogation room. And why they would do that instead of putting her in a regular interrogation room. I don't really understand that. Boy, hell, what do I know?
I don't know either.
Sheriff's Department Bessler.
Hey, Chris, what do you got?
Hi. Shannon Hine called earlier. I spoke with her. She supervises a Jody Stokowski.
Okay.
Jody is apparently I don't know that she's a girlfriend, but a personal friend of Steve Avery.
Okay.
Jody's currently in our facility. She does have Huber. And on Monday of this week, Jody would have been on Huber and would have been in the company of Steve Avery.
Okay.
Jody didn't want to say a whole lot.
For those that don't know what Huber is, these are alcoholic classes, people that are alcoholics that have been pulled over for multiple DUIs. These are classes they have to attend in order to, whatever, serve as part of their sentence from the judge or whatever. That they have to complete these Hoover classes. And Avery, it's off facility, it's away from the jail. So Avery goes and gets her from the jail, takes her to the Hoover classes, and then brings her back. Right? He's been doing this for, at this point, a couple of months. Right? And they find out that Avery's the one that's been doing this. So let's continue.
Over the phone because Shannon talked to her in the jail today on the phone, and Jody was really hesitant to give her a whole lot. But Shannon wants us to know that she really strongly believes that Jody has some information, and that Jody mentioned specifically Steve's nephew. But Shannon couldn't remember the name of that nephew, but she said she mentioned that nephew several times over, and that she really seemed strongly that there were some issues with Steve, like there was some information.
So why does Hines call us today after hearing about this? Or what?
Yeah. Well,
I will tell you also, and I don't remember what day, but it's toward the beginning of this investigation. The Shannon Hine, which is Jody's probation officer, she called Calumet as well. This wasn't the only, I'm pretty sure we don't have this call in from this, her probation officer, but obviously it's getting mentioned. So I just wanted to drop that in. She also called Calumet. I'll back up 5 seconds. We'll continue.
So why does Hines call us today after hearing about this? Or what?
Yeah. Well, because Hein lives in Appleton, and she'd been apparently working out of county for the last couple of days, and this Jody has been very, very insistent in trying to get a hold of her. So she's been getting all these messages, I need to talk to you, I need to talk to you, I need to talk to you. So after all this, she heard about it, she thought, hey, maybe I should call her. So she called her today and talked to her, and then called us. Jody is in our jail right now, and she's been taken from population.
Okay, excellent. Okay.
The only two down here are myself and Lieutenant Time. Do you want us to handle that, or do you like to handle that?
Go in her. Let me check with Mark real quick and see what he thinks here real quick. Hang on 1 second.
Okay.
Go interview her first.
Okay.
Okay.
And is there anything in particular that I need to focus on or talk to her?
Well, maybe that's that the less you know, the better.
Okay.
Based on, not that we're feeding her information or anything like that.
Okay.
Maybe just kind of go in there cold and see what you can get.
Okay.
Obviously, we located the victim's vehicle on the property, and he's a good suspect, but, anybody really wants to.
Okay. I'm also waiting on, and I know you're busy, but waiting on house descriptors so I can type that in here. I've got addresses, but I believe I need the physical descriptors of the property and the house.
For what?
Don't you need it to get a search warrant?
Oh, we've got that. Time
You got it already?
Yeah, we're done with that. We're at the judge, walking in the judge's front door right now.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
Well, then I'm glad you called.
Okay.
I don't know that Link knows that. Maybe pass it on to him, because he was just down here and said, we got to get going with this. I said, Jim, I'm waiting.
I'm walking in the judge's door right now.
All right. Very good.
Okay.
I'll let you know what
you get. Though.
I will.
Thanks, Chris.
Yeah, bye.
Bye.
Okay. So what we learned from that is that Jody's been segregated into, I guess, her cell, and it ends up that Bessler and Lieutenant Syme are the ones that do the interview. So, and of course about the warrant, which definitely seems to be some confusion there, because she's working on a warrant and it's already done, and they're at the judge's door right then. Now you can clearly tell that Remaker is with Wiegert and whoever else may be with him. So that's where we're at. Okay, so let's move on. This next call, and there's a little backstory. Let me get it queued up here. A little backstory I will talk about here before we start. As those that have read the Manitowoc County Summary Report, there were 5 friends of Teresa's that were found on the property. I don't know. I'm guessing everyone is aware of that. And this was around noon, 12:30ish, that they were found on the Avery salvage yard, and they had entered through the Redont quarry. He gave them permission to search his property or to look around, whatever. And from there, they made their way to the Avery salvage yard, which is, put with it what you will. I, you know, I can't add too much more because there's such a lack of information about it. I do know that they were, they had to leave, but it's interesting because at least I think two of her friends that were in that group were also at Teresa's house. Specifically, I think her name was Joanne Bain or Jolene Bain. I don't remember. I remember maybe it's Jolene Bain. She was definitely imparted the information about Bradley Check and some other things to Sheriff Poggle, right? It was her, and I think there was one other friend, but I don't hold me to that. So anyway, they're caught on the property. Now, I know that there was a warrant written so that Manitowoc, Calumet, whatever, could go into the Redont quarry. Now, why they would want to do that, I don't understand it, because Teresa didn't have any association with Redont. So why would they want to search his property, especially this early on? Now here we are. We're basically 3 hours in from the time that the rat was found, and they're already wanting to go to the Redont pit, quarry, whatever, and start searching. So anyway, this is a call that Buster makes to Redont, or he calls. I don't remember which, but we'll see here. I'd search property, and Redont gave verbal permission, and then Buster then calls Superior. I don't know who that was. I don't remember. I'm not sure it's even in the call. Maybe it is. To let him know that he said yeah verbally that they could search. But anyway, let's play the call. Before we get to that and we get too far past, Ryan Simmons has a question. I apologize for missing that. So how was Stephen allowed to pick up Jody as an inmate from the jail and bring her back to the Huber classes and then return her jail? And for several weeks, months, yet they didn't know. Well, they probably did know. But he's that's just the way that, because if I don't understand totally either how Huber works, but I'm guessing it's for a non-violent type person to be allowed to leave and go do work or go to class or whatever, that kind of thing. Again, Ryan, I don't know. I can't fully answer that. That's just what I'm assuming how that works, so that the jail and jail personnel are not, that's a resource that would have to be used, and then they would really just become a taxi service. So I'm guessing that's part of it, right? And then how's that even possible? Some things got to be incorrect with that info. No way he wouldn't have signed in and out for something like this. Yeah, it is. I'm sorry, it is true. He would go pick her up, take her to class, and then take her from class back to the jail. So then, she was allowed contact, that contact for, I'm guessing, I don't know how soon after she was jailed her Huber classes started, but I would imagine it was relatively quick as part of her 7-month jail sentence that she had to stay in for. August 15th to March, August 15th, 05 to I think March 6th, 2006. So roughly 7 months. Hey, Double D, thanks for coming. The missus on the phone said that they had just found out that Stephen was the one getting her. Yeah, there is another call. It's not in a key call, but we can't put everything as a key call because you got to think about the relevance. But there is another call, and I don't remember who it was. that made this report to whoever, and then it ran up of course, it ran up the flagpole really quickly, obviously, because he is a person of interest. So to clarify, I'm not implying that you or anyone in the chat is giving incorrect info. The dispatch, that's Bessler, made it seem like they didn't know who was picking her up. Oh yeah, I'm sure they knew. I'm sure they did, because I'm sure they have to sign in and out the transfer. I'm sure of it. So, but he's a free citizen. So I don't think like it was an unknown, especially at the jail. Now, other officers, Link or somebody like that really wasn't in the jail. Yeah, I'm sure they probably didn't know. I agree. No, Double D. I've actually got several open records requests that are waiting to be granted or denied, whatever they're going to do. The most recent one was a pretty lengthy one that I asked for. It's a lot of audio on CDs and so forth. It's not going to be a cheap one, but it's not going to be too expensive. But I sent that one on June 3rd, and I've been pressuring them, and I finally got a reply the other day that said that my request is being processed. So I take that it's not being denied. It's being approved. It's been approved, and they're working on it, but they haven't given me a price or a time frame. So waiting on that one. I've got 3 from into the DCI from last year. And I've got 1 into the DCI from August of 2022 that I'm still waiting on. Yep, you're welcome. You're welcome, Ryan. Absolutely. Double D says, "Is there a way to tell when Steve's case is being looked at by the?" No, we have no way of knowing when they get to his case. No, we won't know anything till they make a decision and give their decision in order, whatever that's going to be. No, we have no way externally. Internally, but we don't have a little bird in the court that can tell us when they've actually taken the case under and they're actually looking at it. I wish there was, but we don't. All right, back to this this call, Bustler, to Josh Radant. Here we go. I'll skip it forward.
Hello, this is Josh.
Sorry about that.
Oh, hello, is this Josh?
Yes, it is.
Hi, this is Deputy Bessler from the Sheriff's Department.
Yes,
Are you out near your pits?
I am in my pit.
Okay.
I hope the county closed some of my gates off.
Okay, that's what I was just going to talk to you about. They're going to be asking to do that, and we're going to certainly be asking your permission to be in the pits or on or around them.
Not a problem.
Maybe do some searching.
I know this morning must have been some of her friends came through and I said feel free.
Okay. We appreciate it. I'll just pass on to that I talked to you and you're aware of it.
Yeah, like I said, I'm in the pit, so.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Sheriff's Department Bessler.
Hi, Chris. How are you doing?
We paged them. We called them back. We 10 time talked to Great Lake Rescue and told them just to stand by.
There's a call there to Great Lakes Rescue. Told them to stand by. Did y'all catch that? I'll play it again.
I talked to Great Lake Rescue and told them just to stand by.
So somebody at this point in time is, again, we're around 3 hours in, and somebody's already made the call to Great Lakes Search and Rescue. And I think that came from Deputy Inspector Greg Shetter at MTSO. I believe that's right. Don't hold me to it, but I think that's right. My memory is not failing me. One more time.
We called them back. Lieutenant Syme talked to Great Lake Rescue and told them.
Lieutenant Syme called him back. So he was instructed, I think, by Shetter to make that call.
Just to stand by. to get going, and Josh Redant is in the pits, and he's securing his pits. He's got absolutely no problem with us being on or searching in the pits.
Okay, sounds good. Just log that information somewhere. Next thing, can you maybe get a hold of the kitchen? Ask them. I'll probably be calling out the command.
Okay.
If they can put together some lunches. A lot of these guys have been working all day without eating. I don't know how far we're out here, but if we could just throw them in the command post, water, and anything else.
Any guesses on how many? 20 more?
Let's go 25.
And they should go with the command post.
Yeah, we could just throw them in there right away.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Yep, bye.
Yeah, I can't really recognize who her superior is that she's talking to. I don't know if that's one of the Hermans. I just really can't tell. That's the reason I didn't put a name into this, because I don't know for positive, so I left it out. So, Great Lakes Search and Rescue is on the standby. Of course, I know that, we know that they're going to be called back and told to head that way, and that the cadaver dogs arrived first. So, anyway, let's move on. This next call, this is Jody's supervisor that calls in. Let me get it queued up here. I'll pause it. Yeah, the supervisor says Jody's been desperately trying to get a hold of them, that she wanted to talk to them with her attorney. Said Jody mentioned a nephew, didn't say much, but the supervisor thinks Jody knows or suspects something. So let's see if there's anything I need to address before we start this call. Yeah, Nan's is correct. I mean, if they, the only way we're going to know anything is if they make an entry into the WCCA system. You can see it there, and Avery's court compilations. Things get entered as things get done. Other than that, yeah, it's unfortunate. We're not going to know anything. Anyway, thank you, Nan. All right, let's move on. This is at 1:32 p.m. on the 5th. Again, about roughly 3 hours.
Sheriff Department Bessler. Hi there, this is Shannon Hine with Probation Parole. How are you? Hi, good. Hey, I'm just giving you a call because I supervise Jody Sikowski. Okay. Anyways, she's been desperately trying to get a hold of me, and I've been working in Chilton. So I didn't know what she needed because she's in jail, and she's not out on Uber. Right. So I call her, and then, of course, once Teresa disappeared, I'm like, well, maybe it's got something to do with that because of the Avery, blah, blah, blah. So I've been working in Chilton, didn't know anything of the connection with Avery. Obviously, I know Teresa's missing correct. I went to high school with her. So I called up to the jail right now, and my sister actually told me.
Did y'all catch that? No, Teresa's a missing person, and I went to high school with her. Did you hear that, Sheree? I'd missed that before.
No, I'd never noticed it either. And I've heard this call more than once.
I have too. I completely missed that. That's crazy. Play it again.
I went to high school with her. So in Chilton, didn't know anything of the connection with Avery. Obviously, I know Teresa's missing correct. I went to high school with her. So I called up to the jail right now, and my sister actually told me last night that Avery was living, or whatever, blah, blah, blah. I called up to the jail, and Jody got on the phone, and I said I would come here, but I live in Appleton. So I'm like, why are you trying to get a hold of me? What's going on? And she's just like, oh, I just want to talk to you about something with my attorney. And she didn't really want to say too much.
I don't know if it's excluded or not, but it's interesting. We have a lot of the Jody calls, Jody to Chuck and Jody to other people, but we don't have this call here. It's never entered or included as any part of the call that we have been able, me and so many others have been able to get. I don't know if it's because it's probation or probation officer that it would be excluded. I imagine it probably would. There are other calls from Jody I've yet to be able to get, specifically from December roughly 10th, 05 to January 6th or 7th, 06, roughly a month. I've not been able to get yet. Still working on it. Anyway, thought that was interesting. Moving on.
Kelly's asking.
So I talked to her for a little bit.
I'm sorry.
I said, Kelly's asking you to play it again. I'm assuming
Okay.
she means that call that you just played.
Oh, that part I just played?
I think so, or maybe the whole call. I guess it's not very long. So. Sorry about that.
No, you're fine. Kelly, are you meaning the entire call, or do you mean just part of this? Oh, okay. Okay. I'll back it up 5 seconds and we'll move on.
About something with my attorney, and she didn't really want to say too much. So I talked to her for a little bit, and I said, what did Steve tell you about, the missing girl, blah, blah, blah. And she said, well, really nothing. She's like, and I said, well, do you think he's telling you the truth? And she said, well, he just kind of said she was missing, and she didn't really say much, and I don't think she would say much. I don't really think she knows anything, and I don't know what you guys are working on or what leads you have, but all I want to let you know is, I said to Jody, I said, well, did you ask him anything? And she said, well, no. And I said, do you think he would tell you? She's like, well, I don't know. And then she said something about his nephew. She goes, well, so I don't think she knows anything, but I think she suspects something. Okay. And she went on about his nephew, and she goes, well, Steve just said that he didn't really talk to her. The nephew didn't. So I don't know. I honestly don't think she knows anything, only because she's in jail. And she's not stupid or enough to say anything on the phone or come and see her. But I also think she suspects something, and she kept throwing the nephew's name out there. And she gave me his first name, the nephew's first name. I don't remember what it was. I talked to her for a little bit, but I just wanted you to know that. Okay. And it's Jody Tukowski? Jody Tukowski. Oh, spell it. Yeah, she's got Uber, but she was out on Monday, and he did drive her. Normally he does, and he's usually with her. She comes to the Tuesday. I'm sorry, she was out. I think it's Tuesday she comes to do it. Yes, it's Tuesday from 9 to 11. She comes to the probation and parole office. I happened to be in Chilton that day, but they didn't let me know that she wasn't at group, so I'm assuming that normally she was with Steve from that time, picking her up, dropping her off, and she came to AODA group, and I'm sure they talked. Okay. They always do, but I don't know. Like I said, I don't know what you guys are working on, but I just think it's funny when I talked to her on the phone. She even hesitated, and I said to her, well, do you suspect something? And she goes, well, no. And I said, and then she just kept going on about the nephew. Well, Steve said the nephew's this, and I don't know. I think she knows more than she's telling me. Okay. But I also think she truly suspects something. Okay. I really do. So I just wanted you to know. Great. Thank you. You're welcome. Bye. Bye.
Yeah, she's pretty chatty. Yeah, I don't know where else this information came from that that they knew, but or them finding out. I can't remember how the other part that they found out that Stephen was coming to get her for Huber, but it wasn't from her. But this other part, I really like to. Yeah, it's probably excluded now. And I have to agree because it is her probation officer. But I don't know. Just given the other call that they trapped and recorded and kept, I don't know. I just. It's certainly they were certainly on Jody. I mean, they were on her from now, basically until almost a year. It goes into October of 2006 that they're still talking to her. It's crazy, and she was in jail. I mean, come on, man. Anyway, let's move on to the next call. We'll do a couple more, then we're going to call it good. I don't want to keep everybody here all night. These calls aren't going anywhere. And there's actually a couple I'm going to add when I get a free few minutes. It's not now; it's coming up later, but I want it to be in the rotation that I've got. I just never, and it's the Bushman call on November 7th at Cuss Road. I've just never done it, but I want to get the radio transmission that he did when they ran across the disturbed earth. It's not in the rotation, and I think it is a key, and it deserves to be in here. There's a few others too that I've just never done. So anyway, this next call is Jacob's calling George Zipper's house. I don't remember this call right offhand, but I'm sure if it's Zipper, it's going to probably be interesting. Anyway, This was at, let me get it queued up here. Yeah. It says 11:05 in the evening. I don't remember if we have the time-stamped version of this. We probably do. I'll have to look for that. And if we do, I'll change the title. I'm not gonna change the thumbnail, but I can certainly correct the title. So let's give this a quick listen. It's only a minute long.
Yeah, so County Sheriff's Department, Nikki speaking. Yes?
Mike here.
Who?
Nine.
I can't. Okay, Dennis, I got it to you.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
All right, I need a phone number for George Zipperer. And he's in our in-house.
George Zipper, born in 1940.
Yeah, that's him. Give me a minute. Okay, go.
It is 682-5719. Can you at least tell me if you got any new brakes?
Got any what?
Any new brakes?
No, we don't have any new brakes yet.
Okay. All right.
All right, see you, Nikki. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
Interesting that Jacobs, I'm going to let that flip to this next call. Interesting that he's calling in because he didn't go, and it was Colburn, Link, Remaker, and Dettering. I think those are the ones that went. So, okay, moving on. Yeah, I think there may be more. I can't remember. 2022, we got some more calls, and apparently there was a pretty good ruckus between the MTSO officers and the Calumet County officers about who was going to cover some certain areas, and it led to some pretty harsh words between a few of them. So anyway, this is a pretty short call. Let's give it a listen.
Sheriff's Department?
Yes.
Okay. You do not need to do anything, Jeff.
Okay.
On everything. State Patrol, send your own cover. Calumet County is going to take the gravel pit.
Okay.
Okay, they're going to take one of their guys, relieve the girl, and and Calumet is coming in at 10 o'clock to take the gravel pit.
Okay.
So we're clear, and they're handling their own brakes.
Okay.
They got their own floater. If they need anything, they will call us.
Sounds good.
So that's it. I don't know what the hell this other shit's getting into, but there's nasty words said on the radio or on the phone.
For who,
Right?
state?
No, about people sticking their nose in.
Oh.
So they got it covered. They got other shit they got to cover, and I'm gonna have to do some shit at 4 a.m. I gotta stay late now.
Okay.
But that ain't gonna affect it. They got everything covered. Don't worry about it. If they need anything, they will call us later. But they should be smart.
Sounds good.
So just gotta play an open beat for us, and hopefully we'll survive without having to do anything.
I'm sure we will.
All right, man.
All right.
Later.
And as you can tell with that call, yeah, there was definitely some raised voices and some other problems that surrounding this particular call. So anyway,
I thought it was determined like right away that it was going to be Calumet's deal, at least to the public.
it was pretty quick, but of course, covering that entire salvage yard, and then it turned into the burn barrel at the Redont pit, or Redont deer camp. So they had security issues, and then they wanted to secure the roads leading into that area. So that expanded greatly. They're restrained their resources, so they had to have help. Calumet's not a tiny department, but it's not huge. So
Here,
Okay,
I always thought that Pagel's saying that we only use them for resources and nothing else. I thought that was BS, but
That's such bullshit. They were investigating as much or more than Calumet. There's no question about that. So, I've got a couple of comments I want to get to here before we move on to this next call. That's interesting as well. Yes, Andy, I think, is taking a look at the Bushman radio traffic. It's pretty horrendous. It's bad, but you know it's legible without too much earstring, but it is pretty bad. Anyway, Nan's life has a question. Was the conversation already cutting Barb loose and being apologetic about it a phone call or a dispatch combo on November 5th? I'm not sure what you're referring to. Oh, after she got arrested for the THC. I can't remember. I just can't remember that call. I can't answer it. I hesitate to even speculate. I'd have to listen to it again or find out what the source is. I can't remember, man. Maybe that's something I can try to find this week and get you an answer. But she was arrested there November 5th, taken in by, I think it was a state trooper that took her to Manitowoc, and she was, they booked her in, and she was released because it was such a small amount of marijuana. And then I know that ultimately she took some kind of deferred prosecution, which meant she had to complete whatever the judge's order would be. Prosecution presented something, she agreed to it, and so she may have had to complete some kind of classes. I don't really know. I know that at one time those records could be seen in the WCCA, but they're gone. They're no longer. I don't know if but after a certain amount of time, those records get completely taken off your record if you don't do anything else, so it disappears. I'm assuming that's what happened. I don't know that. Counseling. Thank you, Barb. Yeah, there you go. She answered it. Can you add it to the key? Yes, I can. Absolutely. You can give me some kind of time frame if you can remember some kind of time frame to help narrow me down. That would be appreciated. Okay, I think that's it. All right, we'll do a few more. This next call is really interesting. Let me get it queued up here. It's interesting for several reasons. This is, an assistant attorney general, same rank as, Tom Fallon. You know what I think about him. I mean, I don't necessarily hate the guy, but this guy, Fallon is just super intelligent about Wisconsin law and the ways to get around it. But this dispatch call here, this Gary Freiberg, he calls in saying he has spoken to DCI, it says it's DVI, that's spelling there, great job, Agent Skrilinski, and now he needs to talk to District Attorney Mark Rohr, and wants Rohr's phone number. Of course, they won't give that out. They won't do that. So he requests a call back that something needed to get done right now. So what does Skrilinski impart to this Assistant Attorney General? This call was at 7:41. So Calumet, Manitowoc, we've had 4 or 5 district attorneys show up on the property. They've been there for hours. And I know, I'm pretty sure Froelich was there for many hours. I can't say about the other ones. I'm pretty sure Griesbach was there for a period of time. I don't know how long Kratz stayed. But I'm pretty sure that Jeff Froelich, I can't remember whatever county he's for. He was there for a long time. But what did Skurlinski tell Freiberg? We don't have any report from Skurlinski that details what he told him or why he made this call to an assistant district attorney for the state. That's me. It's a pretty big deal. Give this call a listen. And let's see. Let me look here. We may just finish out the 5th. That's so. This call and 2 more. I think that's what we'll do. Then we'll call it a night. How about that? That way, if we're rounded off the 5th, it'll be done. And then for the next time, for part 3, we can do the 6th. Here we go.
Manitowoc County Sheriff's Department.
Hi, my name is Gary Freiberg. I'm with the Attorney General's office in Madison. Say, I got a call from Kim Skurlinski, who is the long story. Bottom line, I'd like Mark Roller, the DA's phone number.
Why do you say long story? What's that about? That tells me this is more than just a off the cuff kind of thing. Long story. Well, okay, here we are on the 5th. What kind of long story? Any thoughts, guys?
He sounds urgent, like not. I don't know. To me, he sounds kind of unhappy, pissed.
Yes, very. I agree with you. He does. What's this long story? What the hell's going on? We're literally just into this case. Yeah, it's okay. It's been several hours since the rat was found, but there's really not a lot else going on here that we're aware of. But what did Skurlinski? Of course, DCI is definitely involved at this point.
I'd like to track him down and find out, but I don't know if he talked.
Well, I'd like to know if there was I'd like to know if there's a DCI report that Skurlinski made that says called Assistant Attorney General Freiberg. We talked about blah blah blah, but we don't have anything like that. Of course, now look, there are dozens of these reports that they refuse to turn over. We can't get them. I'm going to re-request all of them. In today's world, and I don't know how long they've been doing it, but some of the newer DCR reports that have been approved, there's a lot of redaction in them. They're almost redacted to the point that they're useless, right? Like when these agents went and talked to somebody just for an interview, they've redacted pretty much anything that tells you who they're talking to, which is really pretty ridiculous to me. I don't understand why they would feel the need that they would have to do that, right? So I don't know. He does sound urgent. I'm going to back it up, and we're going to continue on. I can't tell if there's any edits to this call. I went back and forth on it, but let's back up. I'm rambling. We'll continue.
I'm with the Attorney General's office in Madison. Say, I got a call from Kim Skurlinski, who is the long story. Bottom line, I'd like Mark Roller, the DA's phone number, home phone number, or cell phone, or whatever you can give me.
I can't actually give you that.
Well, can you call him and ask him to call me?
That I can do. That I don't have a problem. Your name again?
It's Freiberg, Freyberg. This is concerning the missing woman.
Okay. And your first
stuff that they're trying to get done right now.
Okay. And your first name?
Gary, Gary.
And your
something that's got to get done right now. This missing woman and something that's got to get done right now. His words. Well, what is it? Why isn't it in a report if it's that important? Did they make a mistake? I mean, this is an assistant attorney general. This is not just some flunky. This is pretty high on the food chain, in my opinion. I'll play that again.
They're trying to get done right now.
Okay. And your first name?
Gary.
If you guys have any thoughts in the live chat or Cherie, whatever, please let me know, because I sure as hell don't know what it is. Continuing on.
Gary.
And you're with?
Attorney General's office in Madison.
Okay. And your callback number, Gary?
608 442
Okay.
8654.
Okay.
I'd appreciate a call right away.
I will get them a hold of them as soon as I can.
Thank you very
Bye
much.
now.
Bye-bye. Phone is forward.
Good evening, Manitowoc County Sheriff's Department. Katie speaking.
It's Roar.
Hey, Gary Freiberg from Attorney General's office called. He wants a call back immediately.
Gary Freiberg from the Attorney General's office.
I have the number for you.
All right. Can I have that, please?
Sure. It's 608
608
442.
1 second. I'm sorry.
Not a problem.
Okay, let me repeat it. 608
Yep. 442
442
8654.
654. Gary Freiberg, correct?
Yep.
Can you see an Assistant Attorney General? What is the title?
He told me he's with the Attorney General office.
Beautiful. I'll give him a call.
Okay, thanks. Bye.
Yeah, I have no idea. And as far as I know, we were never told anything. No report, nothing. Man's life. Man says, I'm thinking he's calling Control Roar to step back from the case. On the 5th, Roar and Greaseblock were both assisting with warrants on Lady Salvage Yard. That's correct. They were. That's possible. It's possible. From an urgency standpoint, I don't know. I just don't know. I can't say you're wrong, but it just, maybe I'm just being biased. It just feels like it's more than that. I don't know. Yeah, I guess that's pretty important, but I mean, assisting writing warrants is not a huge deal to me. But I don't know. Any other suggestions out there? Any thoughts? Yes, no.
I kind of, want to look through my rose-colored glasses and think that he found out what they were doing and he was going to try to get them to stop it. But probably he was just trying to help them look less suspicious and still do it,
Well, him getting the call from Skralinski is what prompts me to think that it's not the warrant end of it, that it's something else. And why isn't it in a report? This is one of the things I've got written down as a question to ask Mr. Kratz on Twixter and see what he says.
Good idea.
He will. Well, I'm doubting I'll get an answer, but hey, I've asked a question. And
even if you don't get an answer, sometimes his reaction is tells you something.
well, that's true, because some of the questions that I have asked, he hasn't answered. He's not even touched, even asking twice, So I don't know. All right, let's. We got a couple more calls here. This series of calls is a little over 3 minutes. It's 3 calls. Cheddar takes a call from the on-call corner. Then Cheddar calls dispatch. This is a few calls about the county. It's Deputy Catcher. I'm sorry if I butchered her last name. She is the coroner, but she has people that help her. She can't be on 24/7. So she has other assistants that help and take the on-call as the police or whoever needs a coroner for whatever task. Let's see. Yeah, there's a reference here put in about the Sipple call having discovered human bones, and between him and Captain Rohr at CASO, there is not even a discussion about a coroner. If they find human bones that is suspicious, why wasn't a coroner called and said, "Hey, because that's their role," but that's not what happened at all. I mean, they didn't even take a photo. He didn't even take a photograph. Nothing he says, and we're gonna have a big discussion. I promise you. Even if I'm the one doing the talking, it really irritates me. Nothing is entered into the ledgers about whatever him and there's a DCI, at least one DCI agent with him during that time frame. There's nothing. Where did it go? What happened to those cremains or whatever the hell he found? Even if they're not human, they still need to be entered into the evidence. He found it in relation to the investigating the case. Anyway, I'm going to ramble. So let's listen to these 3 calls and notice the dates: 5th, the 9th at 7:14, another one at the 9th at 7:17. Here we go.
For you to play with.
Greg?
Yeah.
I have Mark Dassey on the line.
Yeah.
He wanted to know if this was all going on and would like to talk to you because he's going to be, hopefully you won't need him, but the coroner on call tomorrow.
Okay, I can talk to him.
Can I just add you on and you want to talk to him and I'll put it.
You guys will work on that address?
She's doing it right now.
Okay, sure.
Oh. It shows Erica or James Bowling.
Erica?
Or James Bowling on West Xander Road.
B-O-W?
B-O-W-L-I-N-G? Okay, yeah, B-O-W-L-I-N-G.
Any and all, pull up any and all information on those parties.
Okay, I'll let Katie know. If you want to hold on, I'll just add you on to, let's see. Mark?
Yeah.
The deputy inspector shutter's on the line for you.
All right.
Greg, go ahead.
Okay. Hello, Mark. Hey, Greg. You're the on-call coroner? I'm not on till morning, but I'm not sure if what you're gonna be doing. You're gonna have to talk up, my friend. I'm not on till morning. Okay. So I don't know how far you are with everything. We have nothing right now. Okay. Probably got to be from here to anywhere right now. Okay. Obviously, night and the weather here has been helping out. Right. So I think we're just doing some basic areas that we think where the weather doesn't affect us, but we don't expect to find what we're looking for. Until tomorrow. Probably tomorrow we're going to get a little aggressive. So. Okay. Yeah, I'll be on the whole day, so. Okay. Just go. All right. I'll be a little aware of it. One way or the other will. All right, thanks, Rick. Touch base. Yep. Bye.
Sheriff's Department, this is Lori.
Hi, Lori. Greg Shutter.
Hi, Greg.
Who's the coroner today?
Right now I have Al Conyu on.
Okay. Can you page him and have him call my cell phone?
Sure, Greg. What's your cell phone number?
973.
Okay.
3441.
3441. Okay.
And
okay. I will page him. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Well, pause it here because, okay, the call from Sipple, the first one was radio traffic at 1:41 p.m. on the 9th. Okay. His phone call to Captain Rush was at, and this was an actual phone call, was at 2:12, roughly 30 minutes later, about finding human bones. 2 5-gallon buckets full of human bones. Why he said human, I have no idea. Maybe the DC agent that was with him told him that. They knew. They had experience. I don't know because nothing was documented. Is this in reference to what Sipple found earlier that day? I don't know. It's pure speculation. Please don't take it that I know this. I don't. We'll make that really clear. I don't know that. But I find it strange that he's calling to talk to the coroner now at this time of night on the 9th. Well, let's finish out this, the third call.
Central County Sheriff, this is Lori.
Hey, Lori, it's Al at the coroner's office.
Okay, Al, you are to call Greg Shetter as soon as possible.
Okay.
973-3441.
And we said Greg?
Yes. Okay, he's the main inspector.
Okay.
Okay?
Sure.
Thanks, bye.
Bye.
Now we have this document. I think Sunshine Christina found that this one. I can't remember. And it details this call. Bones found. Let me blow this up so I can get a little bit bigger. Bones found, Avery Auto Yard. I can't read that word. To be missing girl. Believed to be missing girl. Now this is the 9th. I can't read that. Something came, like Crime Lab, DCI maybe, coming in. Can you read that, Sheree? He will call something that's really, really small. Mark Wiegert, 147 State Patrol.
Could it be will call when they arrive? Maybe.
Could be. Yep, could be. 147 State Patrol roadblock. So yeah, we know that State Patrol and they had the roadblock there on 147. I guess that's what that's in reference to. I don't know. I just find it odd that this call comes in on the evening of the 9th and there's reference to Bones found Auto Avery Yard on the 9th. You already had the 8th. That's a done deal. That's different. And as far as we know, the Manitowoc County Coroner's Office was not involved in that. They wouldn't let Deb on the property at all. Everyone remembers. I don't know. It's just something. It's just food for thought. Something to think about. I've noticed this before. Can't prove anything because there's so many calls that we just don't have. I think they've been edited out. I think there's probably at least one more call that we never got to hear surrounding all of this. But with the 212 call, with the radio traffic from Sipple, then the 212 call, and they had a pretty good conversation about what he had found. Of course, Sipple goes off on this tangent that says, he believes that Avery dumped whatever they found over in whatever quarry. I don't even think they detailed exactly which quarry that they're in. And we know that they were in 3: Nichols Materials, the Redont Quarry, and the Manitowoc County Gravel Pit. They were in all of these multiple times. Yet we don't have a huge amount of information on a lot of it. So I'm not sure. Anyway, I'll back up 5 seconds. We'll continue to finish this call.
He's the main inspector.
Okay.
Okay?
Sure.
Thanks, bye.
Bye.
On that call, we're about done. Okay. All right. Any thoughts about that? I'll go back up. Andy's talking about, Andy B has cleaned up a lot of audio for us. He's really, really good at it. If you need audio cleaned up, I'm sure he'd appreciate the business. I've hounded him. God, I used to hound him all the time about it, and I hated it because he's got a full-time job doing his own business. So it's just extra stuff piled on him. So I'll try not to do that. But not saying it can't happen in the future, Andy. Just telling you, I'll buy you a pint or two. Anyway, from Steve Dashell. Has anyone ever thought the call may have something to do to sue with why the feds were at Cuss Road? He's talking about the Freybird call. I suppose that's possible. I just don't know. Maybe. But again, we go back to this conversation that Freyberg had with a DCI agent on the, this guy's on the ground. We got a few more comments here we can get to now. Andy B, I'm sure the feds heard all the chatter with local about Teresa. The feds knew Teresa was murdered, and locals were, and on TV, she's a missing person. So they were well aware and notified the state. Well, I don't know. I can't really comment about that. Can you put that doc into Discord for me so I can take it? Yeah. I'll find it for you, Nan, and I'll get it to you. Absolutely. All right, let's finish out the fifth. We have one more call. Let me pull this up and cue it. Dispatch radio is 453, which is Hornick, and 453, and then 423 Mike Herman to check out 2 residences where suspected that Martinez is hiding out. He's caution. Yeah, this was, I think Xander Road is what's coming up. And this is another call that we got in 2022 with that open records request by Rookie. Yeah, let's just play it. It's not that long, a couple minutes.
Dispatch 453, you're calling.
Michigan area, go ahead.
Dispatch 453 and 423, copy and code.
423.
423, 453. I have 2 residences that need to be checked for the Martinez party, who's the suspect in the attempted homicide in Manitowoc. They received information that the suspect, Andres Martinez, may be at 931 Ladderon Drive, 931 Ladderon Drive, the Donald Madden residence, or at 2632 West Xander, 2632 West Xander Road, the Arthur Madden residence. They're requesting both residences be checked for that subject. If he is located, use caution.
Three copies. 453 copies. 420403. Good. Getting across the system on that. Negative, I'll be able to do it. Copy.
Dispatch copied also.
Okay. Okay, let's call it quits there for today. Interesting call. Obviously, Xander Road becomes of great interest because of course, the sign that was found on Avery's desk. A lot of talk about that. We can't really get into because, we can, but it's we're speculating. And then there's a later call. I can't remember what day it is that they actually block off Xander Road. There's a definite urgency to that call. I'm pretty sure they were running code, which means lights and sirens. They block it off, but we don't know why. We're left with that as an open, whatever. So anyway, pop this off of here.
Is Martinez not an issue by that time? By the time they block it off?
He is an issue, with the attack on his girlfriend, wife, whatever she was. Absolutely, she was a definite issue.
I wondered if maybe he was already in jail. I don't know what date you said that they blocked it off. But
well, I didn't. I can't remember the date, and I apologize for that. But I just can't remember the date. I'm sitting here thinking about it. It seemed like it was the. Gosh. It was later. It's a few days from now. I can't remember if it was the 7th or the 9th, but I'm pretty sure it's a key call that we put in, that myself or yours put in. And I'm just trying to remember, and I apologize, I can't, but I do remember they blocked it off for a period of time, but they don't really discuss for what reason, and there's no report to detail it, which I've always found kind of strange. It's a pretty big deal, and to be included. Remember, Manitowoc filtered their calls. 99.8% of everything we got from Manitowoc is directly related to this case. They filtered all the other, I'm sure, hundreds, if probably thousands and thousands of calls that they get daily, throughout the time period, a week, for other calls. This was just, one more thing.
how kind of them, or was it?
Yeah, I'm sure there was some heavy editing going on. That's just my opinion, but that's what I believe. So anyway, I thought I would end today with this rear picture of the RAV, showing A23 and the area that was taped off, which is of interest, obviously, to a lot of us. A23 being they only got Sherry or Colleen only got a partial profile, which is, well, what can I say? It's Sherry Colleen, right? I think I pretty much, yeah, and then I'll get that document to you. I'm pretty sure it's in the library, but if you've never seen it, I'll dig it out, fish it out for you. Okay, looks like we've had a pretty good crowd, a lot of great questions, a lot of good comments, and again, nothing ground shattering, but there are certainly questions that we have no information on. This should have been answered. This big one, it really has always bothered me. What was the urgency after Freiberg, an assistant attorney general, again, same designation as Fallon and several others that work at the DOJ? What was his urgency after talking to Skurlinski? What did he tell him? Yeah, thank you, Nansley, for being a real soldier. You definitely got your thoughts and ideas. We appreciate you. We appreciate everyone that comes along and listens and maintains interest in these cases. Ask the questions. Keep pushing for answers. Again, all we're looking for is the truth, and we don't have it. I'm sure of that. After we got off air last night, I've said this again to members of Foul Play. I'm 100% convinced there's evidence that we've never seen. And I can say that because of the blunt and bloody instrument debacle. There is no way that we would put that in his affidavit if it wasn't true. There's not, because if these people that own that property said, screw you, you're going to serve a warrant. That warrant was ready to go to be filed for permission to search. why would he add something like that in there? And the other things he put in there too. There's other information that never really appears anywhere in any report that he details in that affidavit. Sorry, got a problem with that. Anyway, yep, I agree. But I also think that there's more information that we don't have and that we'll never get. Anyway, I'm gonna let everybody go. Thanks again. If you like what we're doing, give us a like, and subscribe, share the video, get other people involved. As always, we're looking for the truth and for you to find your truth. That said, I'm going to say this has been a File Play production. Good night, everybody.